Hey guys, Evander here, back with another video. Today we've got a unique one. I'm not going to do a accessory review for once. Today is going to be a experience. So I'm going to be talking about the last year with my Cybertruck. I got mine in mid-March of 2024, and I just wanted to give a kind of year review since I've owned it for this long, how things have gone with it. I basically asked ChatGPT, hey, what should I talk about my annual review of the Cybertruck? So I'm just going to be going through the list it suggested. It had some really good suggestions. And I'm here at a supercharger. I've got 35 minutes to kill to get to 80%. So this is just going to be me talking. And yeah, let's just get into it. So first question ChatGPT said is, all about first impressions and delivery experience. How was the ordering and delivery process? Well, I pre-ordered my Cybertruck the day after Elon announced the Cybertruck. It was very polarizing. People either loved it or hated it. And it took me a day to decide myself that I loved it. It was shocking at first, but the next day I was like, you know what? I love it. It's different. This is kind of that cyber thing that I'm all about. I love being like cutting edge tech. I've got to have the latest and greatest gadgets. So yeah, I pre-ordered the day after. It was only $100. And then what? It took years later to actually receive the Cybertruck. So that was quite a early investment for Elon, and giving him a $100 interest-free loan basically for like 4 or 5 years. But pre-ordering, easy. The delivery process, that I feel like Tesla needs to improve upon. The delivery experience just isn't quite there as far as I feel like putting customers, at the top. It felt very sloppy. It was my first experience getting a Tesla in general. There were so many things I feel like they have that other car manufacturers don't have. Like the delivery experience is just streamlined through the app. You don't have to, sit down with someone, go through paperwork, sign things one at a time. They're trying to mark you up. All of that is just gone with Tesla, which I loved. But picking it up, they were hours late. I think they were like 3 hours behind schedule. So I was just sitting in the lobby, basically staring through a little window into the service center. They said they had to clean it, buff it, address a couple problems before delivery was ready. So they were just so late. It kind of just killed the hype of like, ooh, I get to pick it up, because it took hours. And during those hours, other people were also waiting, and I got to experience their delivery process though, and kind of it was exciting for them. It was like, oh, this is good. Congratulations. Let me help you. I had a whole checklist of things to look for when picking up the Cybertruck, what to look out for that could qualify as like reject this delivery if it's this bad. But overall, I received it. Nothing reject worthy of denying the Cybertruck, but I had a couple issues that I did report. That I think it was mostly the trim on the top roof. There was the sailing, which they had a recall for. All along my right side, you could see the plastic. It was very wavy. They had a recall for those eventually. So I guess my early Cybertruck was definitely experiencing that problem. And I had some door alignment, very minor things, nothing too serious. I'll get into one problem that bugged me very, very much, but I think that's coming up on a different question. So that's my initial thoughts on the build quality, fit, and finish. Overall, everything fit and finish is not too bad. I had other, horror stories I've heard from other Teslas, but I feel like Cybertruck was so new. The manufacturing process was, modernized. Again, I didn't have very many issues. Luckily, we don't have to worry about paint defects since it's stainless steel. So I didn't find anything major. I thought the build was amazing. It's the best vehicle I've ever owned. Prior to my Cybertruck, I owned a Hyundai Ioniq 5. I think it was a 2023. And I thought that was amazing. But this is great. Some people have creaks and issues, but I've had very little issues so far. Reactions from friends, family, and strangers. Oh my God, how different it has been over the last year. In March 2024, it was like being a celebrity if you owned a Cybertruck, because they were pretty rare. I think my VIN number is like 2300 or so. And I was one of the first, at least in my area that I've seen, that had a Cybertruck. So even coworkers, as I was going in and out of the office, just stopping. When I first picked it up on day one, I went down a ramp and somebody stopped midway up the ramp, like kind of dangerous, just to look like their mouth was dropped on the floor, like, oh my God, I'm finally seeing one. It was really funny, which reminds me, going back to the pre-order and delivery process, I bought the Cybertruck. I paid for it in full day one, and this is not even touching a Cybertruck. I had my pre-order for years and years, forgot about it, honestly. Got my Ioniq 5, that was paid off. And then a year after I got my Ioniq 5, I got the email that your Cybertruck is ready for ordering. I didn't know what to think. And then, funny enough, here in the Bay Area, they had a Cybertruck at a Tesla showroom. I went to go see it, and it just reinvigorated my love for it. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I have to have it. This is so cool. We weren't even allowed to touch it, though. It was roped off. You couldn't get in it. You couldn't test drive it. You couldn't even touch the damn thing. I didn't care. I still paid in full for the Cybertruck, and driving it off the lot was the first time I had been inside one. So kind of a crazy experience. However, I did the same thing with the Ioniq 5. I'd never been in one. I never test drove one. I just did my research and looked up every video I could on Ioniq 5, and I bought it, drove all the way down to Bakersfield to pick it up, came back, and yeah, so I kind of have a habit of just really deciding and paying in full on my purchases for cars, I guess. But yeah, back to reactions from people. Uh, in March, I'd have people recording me everywhere I went. I would make sure my car is like empty because I know everybody's going to be looking in the windows. They'd want to see what it looks like inside. People on the freeway would be recording, trying to get a video. Kids would go freaking crazy. I had kids, literally, I was at a stoplight and a kid rode up on his bike and asked if he could get in the truck. I'm like, what? Stranger danger? Like, you don't just go asking to get in people's trucks. Like, that's just crazy. But they were absolutely head over heels in love with it. A lot of people didn't know what it was or where it came from, who made it, because there's no Tesla markings on it. But completely opposite today. Obviously, I don't want to get too political in this video, but today there's not quite as much Cybertruck love going around. Long story short, I'm pretty much not going to ever visit my friends in San Francisco for a bit, kind of laying low. Don't want to go to the city where there's a lot of people and kind of unfamiliar areas to park. It's always shady to go to the city regardless, but especially now, I just don't want to get anything vandalized. But personally, I have not experienced any hate. I've only been flipped off like twice, but I feel like that was traffic related, not Cybertruck necessarily. I've actually got a lot of thumbs up recently, even despite this political thing going on right now. But yeah, absolutely loved the. It felt cool to be like gawked at all the time. I actually didn't get a lot of people like approaching me like, hey, and they want to talk about it. Even a lot of Tesla owners kind of didn't really bug me, even if I was parked and supercharging. So people were pretty respectful. But when I would talk with them, they'd be like, oh my God, thank you for showing me. I'd let them get in and yeah, sit in the seat, see what it is like. I was pretty cool about it. All right, topic 2, daily driving and practicality. How does it handle in the city versus highways? Visibility, comfort, interior space, any standout features, turning radius, adaptive suspension. Yeah, basically, this thing handles like a dream. Like, despite how big it is, I've never owned a truck. I never thought I would own a truck. And a lot of Americans apparently buy trucks but don't use them for truck purposes, and I'm one of them. I don't anticipate going off-roading or, I'm not hauling construction materials or anything like that around with my truck. I'm just driving it. It's my commute vehicle. Visibility and interior space. This dashboard is insanely deep. Cleaning this thing is a nightmare, but I still enjoy it. I spend a lot of my time per week just making sure she is spotless inside and out. Right now, she is caked in pollen from a tree I parked underneath. And yeah, it can be a bit of a chore to keep it clean because it's so massive, especially this windshield. Visibility can be a little difficult, I admit. On the A-pillar side, there are some blind spots. So if you were turning left on a curve, there is potential that you would miss something because these pillars kind of add up and it makes like at least a couple feet blind spot where visually you cannot see. Turning radius. I love doing U-turns. It blows people's minds when they see me outmaneuver even a sedan. Sometimes it just feels like it turns on a dime, and I will go out of my way to go somewhere. If I can make a U-turn, I will take that route. It is just so much fun. I love roller coasters, so it kind of gives you that G-force feel. You can feel that tight turn, and it's just handles like a dream. The adaptive suspension is so fun. I like being up higher. I feel a little bit safer up high. But yeah, no complaints. Basically, this video is about how much I love the Cybertruck. There will be very few things I say that are bad about it. And next topic, technology and software updates. How have software updates improved the truck over time? Holy shit. Had I waited a year to buy this, it would have been night and day. When I bought my Cybertruck in March of last year, we had nothing. We had, I think, adaptive cruise control, and that was about it. We didn't have any backup warning sensor, no, barely anything. We had Sentry mode, but that was about it. There's nothing smart about it. You would run into the back of things and it wouldn't give a damn. We didn't have any of the smart features, no FSD. So even if we had the cruise control on, it wouldn't have lane keep assist. So you would have to basically just drive the thing yourself. And that adaptive cruise control was awful. It would make me sick most of the time in stop and go traffic because it was just so jarringly awful. It would freak out if a motorcycle drove past you. It was very, very bad. The software updates now have fixed all of my complaints about that. And full self-driving V13 is so freaking good. I use that for 80% of my commute, and it is nearly perfect. We haven't yet got the ability to back up during FSD or have actual smart summon, but when that happens, oh my god, I'm going to have everything I'd ever dreamed for. Favorite tech features: Autopilot, smart summon, off-road mode. Yeah, again, Autopilot I feel like is the reason to buy a Tesla. I love the idea of a vehicle just driving you somewhere. It's like Westworld. That's what I want. Technology is there to help us and just make our lives easier and less monotonous. But yeah, FSD, I still hate traffic, but this has made the commute so much easier and so much more tolerable because it will literally just drive me through this awful Bay Area traffic and rush hour, and it gets me there safely. And I've stopped trying to interfere with it because most of the time it is ahead of the game by like a second. If I'm about to turn, I go to push the button and it's already starting to turn. I'm just like, okay, it knows what it's doing and it can do some really smart maneuvering around traffic. So very impressed with FSD. It's my favorite feature of this vehicle so far. Any issues with connectivity, charging, or infotainment? No. Everything works great. No bugs, no issues, charging. 100% happy with that. Performance and off-roading, acceleration and handling. Does it feel as quick as you expected? Yes. I'm glad I didn't get the Beast. I didn't feel like it was not worth $20,000 for going, a second or two faster, 0 to 60. This is plenty fast enough. I'd get in some real trouble if I could go even faster. So didn't need the Beast. It handles fantastic. How does it compare to traditional trucks in real world utility? I haven't really, again, used it as a truck, but from what I've seen from other people, it's awful. You kind of have to baby it or just accept that it's not built like a tougher truck. A lot of the plastics are very soft. They scratch, they scuff, and it can't really take a beating like I'd say your average steel Ford truck. But again, I don't really care. I'm not using it for truck purposes. Charging and range, real world range versus advertised range. I think on day one, I was getting 318 at 100%. I haven't been at 100% in a while, but last time I did, I think it was like 10 miles less. So maybe 305, 310 at most at 100% charge. I uh, typically I'd only go 100% charge if I'm doing a road trip, at which point I'm probably going down long, boring desert roads and probably going 90 miles an hour, which completely tanks your efficiency and kills that range estimate. But I haven't had any issues. I did drive it from California to Utah and back, and yeah, no problems. I made it, and the supercharging experience along the way was flawless. I didn't have any issues with the chargers, and it was nice to get out every 2.5, 3 or 4 hours and stretch your legs while charging, grab a bite to eat, use the bathroom. No issues with that. Supercharging experience and availability, speed and cost. I did have 6 months free supercharging with my Foundation Series Cybertruck. That was great while it lasted. And then I had some referral miles, and I got, I don't know, maybe 4,800 more miles. So now I'm paying for supercharging, and it's not that bad. Maybe I'll spend 20 or 30 bucks to supercharge. Otherwise, I'm charging for free at work. Luckily, I've got that option. Kind of have to fight for it because there's only so many chargers that are free. But overall, I'm not paying very much per month to supercharge. Maybe 60, 70 bucks a month to supercharge. But it makes it so much faster. I'm at 67% right now. So yeah, let's keep going. Charging at home, that's not an option. I live in condo, and there's no way to guarantee I'll be close enough to my condo to even like run a cable. So I just don't even bother with the thought. My neighbor did it, but there's only one spot where he can reach his condo unit, and he installed a charger, but I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars on the off chance that I can park there and charge myself. um, Build quality and durability, any wear and tear after a year? Yes. Um, I in my camping video, I had the cyber tent clamped onto my like less than a week old wrap, and it left some impressions in my brand new wrap. It's still there. I might get those swapped out with a fresh wrap when I do the I forget what it's called, cant rail, whatever the hell this pillar thing is called. There's a recall for that, and I assume one day I'll have to get those swapped out, at which point I'll get a fresh wrap, and then that problem's gone. I've seen some scuffing here on the side of my seat. It looks like something nicked it and kept going. Not sure what caused it, but I haven't seen any more since day one. I did notice some scratches on the inside of my windshield, a bit too late after delivery to report it, but that was there, so make sure you check the glass for any issues if you do pick up a Cybertruck. And when putting this, it's all cyber tent related. When I took the aero flap off for the cyber tent, I put it in the back seat, and I thought it was a perfect length from left side to right side. And as soon as I shut the door, I realized it's like an inch longer than that length, and it punctured the side of my door trim. So I've got a puncture mark over there too. I have noticed a little bit of crackling going on in my LED trim. Very little, one right here. It's maybe half an inch. Everywhere else is fine. Here's a little bit more over here. And I can see a little bit of crackling going on over there. To my knowledge, there's no recall for that, at least yet. But I've noticed that. We've had a ton of recalls. None of them really serious. The pedal arguably could be serious, but I think they had like 2 issues with the pedal. Mine was riveted. It's kind of ugly, but whatever. It's my foot's covering it anyways the whole time. Yeah, that's about the other. Oh, I'll call this wear and tear. So on my delivery day, I didn't notice it initially, but they had buffed my door with an orbital sander. Only on the, I think it was the passenger side, and in the right light, no matter what, I cleaned the hell out of it. I used stainless steel cleaner, it would not come off. You could see a snake pattern on both of my doors where they had buffed it out on day one, and it never came out, and it wouldn't go away, and it just upset the hell out of me because you could see it in certain pictures, and it just looked awful. It looked dirty, even though it was spotless. And that was the main reason I got mine wrapped. So absolutely awful. I assume I would have had to have them swap out the doors or buff the whole vehicle at the time. But I was like, I'm just going to get wrapped. You won't be able to see it after that. Good riddance. But yeah, keeping it clean was a real pain in the ass. The stainless steel is great, but keeping fingerprints off of it is a nightmare. I'd be spending probably half hour a day back then just cleaning it constantly. People were touching it all the time. Awful. If I parked by a sprinkler and got hard water spots on it, awful. I had to use 3 or 4 different chemicals just to get it clean every single time that would happen. Awful. So I got it wrapped. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It comes right off. I recommend getting it wrapped no matter what. I've got a PPF. I cannot speak for vinyl. Any issues? Oh, back to how's the stainless steel holding up? Very, very well. If you may have seen my older video, I got hit by my neighbor who backed into my passenger side door while backing up in our parking lot. It held up like a champ though. They got a huge dent in the back of their RAV4, and I got a very minor bend, a few millimeters bent on my door. Nothing serious. I reported it to Tesla Insurance. They didn't really do anything. I took my truck in to get the tent installed and asked that they align that door, and they did, and it pretty much fixed it. So I let it go. I didn't do a police report or anything like that. Honestly, I feel like I can see in the Sentry footage, they backed up to look at it, and then it kind of cuts off. I barely noticed myself. I did get an alert in the Tesla app, but when I checked it live, there was nothing around. I was like, oh, that was weird. But later that day, I was cleaning it, again, as usual, half hour a day. And I noticed there was a scuff. I was like, what is this? It's not dirt. It's not coming off. And I was like, oh, let me check the Sentry footage. And then I saw it. Bam, they backed right into it. The door took it like a champ, though, and reflected it right back at them. They definitely walked away with a repair needed. But mine, they just realigned my door, and it's perfectly acceptable. You can't even tell. So this stainless steel is tough. Absolutely love it. Any issues with reliability or repairs? No. Santa Clara Service Center does a phenomenal job. I've had 0 issues. My front daytime running bar went out at one point, and they tried to blame it on my wrap because it was unplugged, apparently, after diagnosing. They wanted to charge me like $550 for a diagnostic fee, but thank God I got the awesome service center guy. He says, don't worry about it. We're going to waive that fee. You're good to go. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. I would have been so pissed if all I had to do was plug a cable back in that may have rattled loose over time. But yeah, that was the only real scare I had as far as repairs. Otherwise, my rear motor went out at one point. That was a nightmare. Thank God it happened on a Sunday, because you could only go 50 miles an hour. And I took it in, and they fixed it in, I think, 3 days. And I had a loaner, so no issues with that. Haven't had any problems since then, knock on wood. That was the biggest major repair. I was like, oh no, is this where it begins and it starts to break down? But no issues since that rear motor failure. Cost of ownership compared to gas powered trucks, insurance, maintenance, unexpected costs. Would you buy it again? Yeah, I paid like $113,000-ish out the gate, or off the lot rather, because I paid in full. So I'm not financing. I don't have a monthly payment. For insurance, I think I'm paying like $185 a month for Tesla right now, since they just upgraded us to some other Tesla insurance that they're taking over some sort of, I don't know. I'm still confused what that email was about, but I was like, sure, let's do it. So I think I'm paying about $185 a month with that. It's pretty much like a maxed out coverage as well. Otherwise, all I have to do is pay for the supercharging maybe twice a month. And maybe like maintenance. I just bought the brand new wiper blade, and I think I have to get a filter. Teslas are very great at low maintenance, so I don't have to spend very much There's no oil changes or anything like that. Maybe some windshield fluid from time to time, but otherwise very low maintenance. I suppose my biggest cost is just cleaning fluid to keep everything clean on the outside and inside, but I'm happy with that for sure. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. If something happened to this, ooh, that would be awful. I got all the accessories you've seen on the channel. I'd have to figure out what could be repurchased or asked for again and port it over. But yeah, in a heartbeat, I'd buy it all over again. As long as it's like Foundation Series. This new long range Cybertruck they just announced sounds awful. They've gutted out all the features I love about the Cybertruck. Wouldn't recommend that one. It's got to be this Foundation Series. Absolutely, 100%. Favorite and least favorite things, best features you didn't expect to love. Again, I'd say the four-wheel steering. In one update, they made us do a tighter turn by like over a foot. Absolutely cool. Love the turning radius. Handles like a dream. And once FSD is like even more improved, I won't even probably have to ever drive it if I don't want to. It will get me from A to B, from parking lot to parking lot. I can't wait to like have it drop me off at the movies and go find a parking spot and then come pick me up when the movie's done. And possibly, I don't think I'd do it, but possibly go out and make me money like doing Uber remotely or autonomously. I doubt I'd let random strangers just hop in my Cybertruck and get rides while I'm like watching a 2.5 hour movie, but you never know. Any annoyances or things Tesla could improve? Yeah, again, the software, it's almost 100% perfect. And every year they keep releasing updates. Sometimes it's every month, and it's just getting to the point where it doesn't need anything else as far as like major updates, which is fantastic. I thought I would need CarPlay. I've got the CarPlay screen, but honestly, you don't really need CarPlay. It has everything built in. Having this is a very nice cherry on top because I can have Waze warn me about potholes and traffic and cops. So I do like having Waze pop up an alert here on this mid C9 screen. But yeah, all these accessories I've added is just adding more and more on top of something that was already built to be really, really, really good. So yeah. And that was the last question. So yeah, that's basically, I'm at 80% too. So good timing. That was my last year with the Cybertruck. Again, overall, I would give it, God, a 95 out of 100. There's very few things about it I don't really like. Let me think of some things I don't like. Okay, a couple things I didn't like that were solved with third party is rear view mirror. I feel like they might solve it in another update, but when you're turning, you can't see behind you. My digital mirror solves that problem, but I think they mentioned in a future update they might make it so when you are turning, you have another view showing your rear view mirror since you are like blind. I also like the digital mirror because if my tailgate is down and I'm backing up, all I'm doing is looking at the ground and I can't see anything. Total blind spot. It's awful. I wish they would have put a additional camera somewhere so you can see behind you if the tailgate is down. Again, delivery process could be much better. Just hold your standards higher, Tesla. Put the customer at the top. Don't give me a filthy, unwashed Cybertruck. I paid you over $100,000 on day one, and it's dirty. Like the inside was dirty, the outside was filthy. At least give it a damn wash. I feel like $100,000 you can afford to spend 20 minutes hand washing the Cybertruck. So that could have been much improved. Otherwise, gosh, the seats are so damn comfy. It's just so comfortable to sit in. And with all these accessories, I have more than enough storage to keep everything I'd want to be transporting and more. Like I probably have at least a couple 100 pounds of cargo at all times that I don't really need, but it fits in the back of the truck. And yeah, it's probably killing my range a little bit to have a bunch of bins back there full of stuff I may or may not need. But no complaints really. This is an amazing truck. everything I don't like is kind of nitpicky. I don't know, the glove box is a little shallow. Yeah, I can't think of much. I suppose you could argue, it didn't get as much range. It didn't have all the features that they promised back when I pre-ordered. But I knew what I was buying on day one, even though all those specs changed and were worse than initially promised. There's no tailgate ramp, stuff like that. But again, I knew what I was buying on day one, and it didn't change my mind about buying the Cybertruck. I'm all about supporting, innovation like this with Tesla and any company to, dare I say, like be one of the first to market. And I will support you. I'll give you money if you can keep that idea rolling. Go with it. Man, I'm struggling to think of anything I don't like about it. Like the speaker system is another thing I absolutely love. It sounds amazing. I usually have that baby cranked up when I'm driving, blasting some music. There's so many speakers. Again, I wouldn't recommend that new Cybertruck. It's got half the speakers. Uh, I love how the seats fold up. You've got so much room. It's really hard for me to think of bad things about it. It's I don't know, maybe the voice assistant could be more useful. Maybe put Grok in here so it can be like ChatGPT level of assistant. But again, it's just nitpicky things. Nothing that is specific to Cybertruck that would tell me don't buy this. The tonneau cover is great. I feel like the vault is so secure. I don't have to worry about leaving things in the back like you would any other vehicle. They're not getting through that tonneau cover. Yeah, aside from maybe some minority of people that have some strong Tesla hate, but that's on them. They're missing out. This is an amazing vehicle, and it's been an amazing last year. And I can't wait to see the next year and the year to come. And the channel has been growing. I didn't think I'd even have a YouTube channel when I bought this thing. Thought I'd post my thoughts on a couple of accessories, and then it's blown up from there. And I've got like 4 or 5 different companies sponsoring accessories for me to review. So I look forward to them sending me some more stuff to take a look at and give you guys my thoughts on. But yeah, that was my experience with the Cybertruck over the last year. And I look forward to giving you guys some more really cool content and seeing what else awesome things people make for our Cybertrucks. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. If you have any other questions about my last year with the Cybertruck, just leave them in the comments below. I will reply to every comment you guys leave. And I will see you soon in the next video. See you later.